occasions before. I mean, the thing is, I always say, after a performance, Mum, I'm going to get lucky, but she always says she's got a headache, but I always reply in the same way, it's alright, I don't want to fuck that part of you. But I mean, it's difficult. I've recently tried to get into stand-up, and you start telling people, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become a stand-up comedian, and you get many, many different reactions. Very, very different reactions. I was talking to somebody I've just met the other day. We've been talking for 30 seconds. Actually, I hadn't been counting. When she started talking, I go, 1, 2. That's rude. I don't do that anymore. Actually had one of those really impressive November moustaches. Felt the need to compliment. She wasn't impressed. But, we're talking and blah, blah. I said, well, look, I want to be a stand-up comic. She said, look me dead in the face. Honest to God, she said, but you're not funny. I said, all right, but, how can you fathom that? We've only just started talking. I thought, well, I just returned the question. What do you do? I works in Greggs. So, Greggs the Bakers, right, yeah. So, well, that's very interesting, because we've been talking for 30 seconds now, and not once in our opening exchanges, have you tried to sell me a pasty? Nor are you wearing a tabard. So I got asked to leave, fair enough. But, I don't worry that much. My girlfriend worries more than enough for the pair of us. Sometimes more than other times. She worries so I don't have to. But the thing is, I came in the other day, and she's there carrying on the sofa, and I said, what's the matter? She said, I'm just so worried. I said, about what? She said, I'm just really worried. I've been watching the news, and there's rape and famine and murder and war. And I said, well, of course there is, but you've got your own problems. You need to just get on with life. I know I should, but I'm just really worried. I said, well, okay, let's focus. What scares you? What worries you the most? Paedophilia. Good, you didn't laugh. It's very good. And I said, well, yeah, that's a terrible, terrible thing, but you got bigger concerns. You got big school in the morning. I love how people actually laughed at the silence instead. That's always good. When people are, silence is funnier than yourself, you need to give up. But I said, okay, that's fair enough, and you get your sats and all that. But, so we carried on. I'm allowed to walk around town, for those wondering. I'm free, I'm not on a register, it's fine. I often walk around, I come from Bath, walk around there. It's a very beautiful town, but I'm more struck by the new interesting things. There's a Hollister store now in Bath. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Hollister. You been in there? If you don't know that, you can replicate Hollister at home by doing a simple thing. You can shut your eyes, have a feel around in your wardrobe. That's exactly what Hollister's like. It's darker than Michael Barrymore's thoughts in there. And twice as loud. They pump loud music out and assault your senses with all this perfume. It's kind of like, imagine a terrorist chemical warfare attack carried out by preppies. It's pretty much that. I actually went in for a pair of joggers and I came out with a pair of bikini bottoms. They're kind of restricted, but you just gotta go. I'm too proud to take them back. I guess this is just the modern way of shopping. I don't know. This is kind of modern way. Everything's on social networks now. I think the trouble with social networks is the need to shorten. Everything's full of acronyms like LOL. I'm fine with LOL. That's fine. I don't mind people knowing that. I know they're not always literal, but there's PMSL as well. And for those who don't know, that's pissed myself laughing. Now, I don't mind people knowing that I've laughed out loud. That is fine. But if I saw something on the internet so funny that I'd actually urinated myself, I think I'd be a little bit more concerned about the fact that I'd become temporary and prematurely incontinent. I'm not about to go and write an acronym about it. You've got to forgive me. I've had a pretty tough week, mostly centred around travel. A couple of weeks back, actually, I flew in from Tunisia into Gatwick. It's a pretty impoverished part of the world. Tunisia is pretty bad as well. So we went in there, and I was quite happy, because usually it takes a long time, but we flew through passport control. Not literally, obviously, the pilot had parked impeccably. But the worst part's baggage. You're there at baggage for ages, and the bags are going around. Like the worst episode of the Generation game I've ever seen. Suitcase. All cuddly. No, it's not. It was a cow print suitcase, but I got excited. But then, last week I had to drive to Bridgend, which is in Cardiff. It's the suicide capital of the world. This is a true fact. And it's easy to see why. Whenever I drive into, the further you drive into South Wales, is always further proof that you do not need a DeLorean to go back in time. Over there, they think that the X Factor is a futuristic show set in space. They really do. I was trying to explain about Twitter to a guy I met down there. And I said I was following Usain Bolt. He said, how do you keep up? He's fast. Oh, God, I had to get back. I mean, the trouble is I've got to go to back across the border next week with my girlfriend, 12-year-old girlfriend. We're going on holiday, and the trouble is, it's all very well, but it always fills me with anxiety, because she's got a condition, yes? Very rare conditioning. She orgasms at high altitude. I mean, planes are difficult. We just have to feign fear. That's the best way. I mean, that family holiday to the Peak District was a disaster. Very embarrassing. But the thing is we're going to Snowdonia. We're going to climb Mount Snowdon. Now, bless her, I'm familiar with her condition, so it's fine. You know, I can accept her for what she is. But it's what other people will say. Because she'll literally be coming round the mountain when she comes. I'm going to take the jacket off, it's freezing. Oh dear, talk amongst yourselves. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, all this anxiety, I thought I'm going to treat myself. For a very, very long time, I wanted a memory foam mattress. And I knew there was a great shop over in Bristol. I was fed up of driving after the whole South Wales debacle. I thought, I'll catch the train. I don't usually catch public transport. I don't know if it's safe. You know, I just don't know anything about it. But I was feeling pretty daring. I was in a very dangerous kind of mood. You know, the kind of mood where you want to fill out an official form with blue ink. Yeah, pretty scary stuff. I was kind of like Tom Selleck in Magnum P.I. Without the moustache. Or the car. Or the girls. Or the Hawaiian shirt. But exactly like Tom Selleck in Magnum P.I. And I thought, well, I'll catch the train. So I got on the train, and the journey went fine. And I went from Bath to Bristol Temple Meads. Now, a message came up, which I wasn't familiar with, as we were getting into the station. Everything else going on mine had gone fine. And the man came over the public address system and said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bristol Temple Meads. We're just pulling into the station now. Please do not disembark the train until it has become stationary. I'm not familiar with trains, but 4 hours I sat waiting in that train, and not once did it become a stapler. A hole punch. It didn't even become a protractor set. You know those protractor sets you get bought, your mum has to buy you before secondary school? They say you need it, you never need it. You go from secondary school and you never use that set. You just end up drawing around the protractor in the back of your maths book, making a shit spirograph. Maybe even punching holes in your rubber with a compass. That's about it. But the thing is, I was massively behind schedule. I just about got to the memory foam mattress shop. And I went to see one, and I was so disappointed. They're shit! I asked it what it did yesterday, didn't have a fucking clue. I was left wandering the streets of Bristol dismayed. It was terrible. I just didn't know what to think. And I stumbled into St. Paul's without realising it. Now, for those of you who don't know, St. Paul's is a part of Bristol that's usually on fire. But I thought, I need to get out of here. I need to catch a bus back. I couldn't go back to the station. I've been thrown out for looking for staplers under the carriages. So I needed money. I had no money left. I needed to find a cash point. Fortunately, right then I saw one. There was one over there. So I walked over to the cash point. I was about to walk up to it and draw my money out, and I saw a sign that caught my attention. The sign said, "Do not use this cash point if you notice anything suspicious." Ladies and gentlemen, I was in St. Paul's, one of the roughest areas in the whole of Bristol. Everything looked suspicious. Even the pigeons here are packing heat. There's a cat over there toting a bomb. But remember, I was Tom Selleck, so I thought, no, I rolled up my sleeves, stepped over a crack smoking dog, and I drew my money out. And I found the bus. I needed to catch the X39, ladies and gentlemen. That is the X39. Now, most buses make do with just numbers. But the X39 wants an X in front. Nobody knows why. Presumably because it's the most expensive way in the known universe to travel 14 miles. I think chartering the space shuttle may be cheaper. I don't know. It's kind of like a big metal Robert Maxwell taking old ladies' pensions. But I thought, you know, I needed to get home, so I got on the bus. Oh joy of joys. The bus is so busy. But there is one seat right at the back between two people. I think, great, I cannot stand. I'm emotionally distressed. I need to sit down. As I get nearer, I see the two people I've got to sit next to. On one side is the fattest man I have ever seen. And on the other side is a guy who looks like a farmer, but a very shifty farmer. He has the eyes of a murderer. I mean, this guy really put the rape into oil seed. He really did. He was either that or he was going to a Rupert the Bear conference, and he was slightly dismayed. Anyway, I managed to get in, and parts of the fat man violated me in ways that even my girlfriend doesn't. It's terrible, terrible. I mean, he's the sort of man who needed planning permission just to sit down. It was massive. To make matters worse, he insisted on spending the whole journey whistling the tune to Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5. He was kind of less moves like Jagger and more moves like Jagger. Very, very distressing. I tried to do anything just to put myself off of this horrible, horrible situation. So I tried to just read people's papers over their shoulder. There's someone reading the Metro just over there. And all I could read was the headline. And the headline said, 14-pound baby set to break records. In what, I thought? Shot put? I couldn't read the rest of the article, it was too far away. So I gave up and thought I'd just read the adverts. You get the adverts placed around the top, don't you? And the one directly above our head was advertising the health lottery. Now, I still don't know what this is. I've seen it advertised everywhere. I don't know what it is. But at the time, it seemed like a very accurate description for my current situation. Either that was the new name for the NHS, I haven't decided. The advert next to it was for WKD, you know, the Anchor Pop, which advertises itself in a very manly way, like a really kind of way. But I didn't think even the blokiest of blokes would be seen dead drinking an Anchor Pop. So I don't get it. It's the kind of drink that gets drunk with the average age of people being 14 around a park bench. You know, it's that kind of thing. But their advertising is relentless. They carry on like that. There's that advert where the guy's in the bar. And he's there having a good time with all his mates. They're playing pool, there's football on the television. But the phone rings. Oh no! It's the missus. Never fear. He looks at the barman rings the bell. Everyone shuts up. And then he lies to his girlfriend. He said he's still at the office. He does. He's lying to her. He's telling her he's at the office, but he's at the pub. He's clearly... And they're all helping with his deception. Now, he hangs up and they all get back to normal. And this got me thinking, because I thought, well, here's a man who's in a bar, after work, which is full of only men. And he's drinking Alco Pops, WKD Blue. And he's lied to his wife about it. So I'm thinking to myself, does he have a bigger secret? It's true. Over there, the biggest advert by far and away in the bus is an advert for the film Contagion. I don't know if you've seen this. It's kind of like a disease-based apocalyptic thriller, which is kind of a coincidence because that's exactly the same way that Katie Price describes her vagina. But it was the tagline that grabbed me on this film. The tagline for this film is, "Nothing spreads like fear." That's right, nothing spreads like fear. I think the makers of Utterly Butterly might disagree with this. Yes, but can fear spread straight from the fridge? I don't think so. Actually, all of this messing around, I soon realised, you know, I'd actually got to my destination, and before I knew it, I was coming home. I opened my front door, I stepped in, tripped over a stapler. Where the fuck were you? Oh dear. But that's the thing, I realised I got through the whole day by myself, and you know, it added to the feeling I've always had throughout school, throughout college, throughout work and all that. I hate it when people come up to you, you know, because I always think I can do things myself, and they say, "Stuart, there is no I in team." And do you know what I say? I'm going to leave you this thought. Well, there's no you either. So fuck off. Thank you very much. It's been lovely. And everyone else tonight has been absolutely fantastic.
Stuart Newport, ladies and gentlemen, that was his first ever go at stand-up, and I think he did very well. So let's have a round.